Hello, everybody. We are live. Hello, everybody. I'm Julie Ostro, your humorous speaker and communication coach. I'm here today on my Facebook Live that I'm calling Laughter, Levity, and maybe a few life lessons. Or maybe we'll just goof off. I don't know. But what I do know is that during these trying times in general, and especially during these trying times of how long are we going to be isolated? How long are we going to be quarantined? What's going to happen with this or this? We can become so incredibly stressed, me included. Today, I have my guest, Jane Fischer, who I met quite a while ago at the Humor Conference. And she is an improv person. She's the creator of Improv Connections. She's fun. She's funny. And please welcome Jane Fischer.
Hello.
Hey, Jane.
Hi,
Hello.
Julie. Hi.
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 You know what I love?
What?
Okay, let's do that. We can play a game. You know what I love about this COVID-19 quarantine?
What do you love, Julie?
I've talked to you more in the last 2 months than ever because we have a reason to communicate and a vehicle of communicating.
I know. That's the thing is that I've heard that from a lot of people is that they've used it as, I don't want to say excuse, but as another reason and a prompt to connect with folks. And so that's a fun thing. And doing it this way, instead of over the texty text, how sometimes we connect, you and I connect, this, we get to make faces and sounds at each other.
And you know what? And our necks are not hurting.
No, they're not. They're perfectly.
So in that case, if I do that, you can see what's going on with this. Let's just, make sure we just live our lives in a facade, so to speak.
A facade?
A facade. It's all a facade. Oh, you know what I like to do? Through the years, I would mispronounce words on purpose. And I got this little trick from my mom where you get where I would get tripped up, Jane, is then when it comes time to say the word correctly. For example, you have one in your mind, don't you?
I do. I have several in my mind. This is a thing that my friends and I do. This is a thing that we actually do all the time. So you name a word and we do it. It's a computer where I'm on the laptop computer, the loop tube computer. Yeah.
Oh, I love what you shared with me the other day about how your friends will invert or use different vowels. That's fantastic.
We entertain ourselves.
Well, by doing that, I don't think you'll get Alzheimer's because it's definitely activating your brain.
That's a good thing.
There.
Very good.
Mine was, I would mispronounce the flavoring that is used in black licorice.
Anise?
And then I would pronounce it incorrectly for fun. And then when it came time to say it, this tastes like anise.
And this is why America loves you. You are America's sweetheart. Yes. You are America's sweetheart.
Sweetheart, yeah. It's sweet, and then it kind of gets you in the back of the throat at the end. I don't know. It's just, oh, shoot. You know what I like? COVID-19. If we're going to edit this, I forgot a few words. Let's go back to, so I apologize. I don't mean to say I love COVID-19. That's not where I'm going with that. What I mean to say is going back to what's good about this. Thank you. Take a deep breath.
Yes.
What's good about the quarantine? I'm saving money on shampoo. Hello, dry shampoo.
Right? The whole primping and product stuff first of all, I have been accused of being dainty or fashion forward. So let's just get that out of the way right away. That I am not on trend whatsoever. And so it's not like I have a lot of primping product going on in my life, but yeah, I'm saving on it. Should have invested in a few more pair of yoga pants though. Because
I know. Or why pants at all?
Well, that's true. But I've found, the last time getting the mail, just you become the talk of the neighborhood, and, without the pantsular situation.
Yeah, because then the police officers who are trying to keep people out of the park, they have to take their attention away from them to go over to your house and put your pants on when you're out getting your mail without the pants.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I do, and it's a serious matter. Here's
We're gonna get
another
through it.
serious matter, my friend. I bought quite a few pairs of shoes. I think 3 pairs of shoes. January. Have I worn those?
What are
Why?
these
I don't need to wear shoes.
shuz? Say them again. Shuz? You bought, what are they?
I think it's pronounced shuz.
And do you put them where?
Well, they're in my closet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
They're looking
congratulations.
pretty. Yeah. Sharon, let's see. We've got a participant here.
Oh,
Sharon, who we know from our local YMCA, she says, I'm using all of my old gross products that I never wanted to use. Yes, go Sharon.
Sharon.
And have you ever done this, Sharon or Jane or anyone else? Bought a product and realized it is gross and you don't want to use it, yet you keep it just in case. And it sounds like that might be what Sharon did. I bought something last fall and it was supposed to add a little moisture toward the end, at the ends here. Well, I was out of another product, so I used that thinking, oh, it'll be great just to style my hair. It made my hair look so greasy. And my husband had a bagpipe gig and I'm with his family and friends, and I look like the chick who hadn't washed her hair in 10 days. It looked better than this.
I heard about that on the news. I did. I heard about it. Yeah. Made the news. No, I do that too, Sharon. Yeah, and Julie, I will have several things that I buy and I don't like it, and I just have like buyer's guilt, and so I want to keep it because there's, for the person who doesn't have a product, and so I have it just to say, no, well, now I have it. But for example, one of the other quarantine positives has been the sorting out of the stuff.
Yes.
As I mentioned, I'm doing a callback. The not fashion forward, right? I found a black glittery eyeliner pen. Where am I going? I'm a gal of a certain age, and I'm probably not going to wear a black glittery eyeliner pencil in my neck of the woods anytime soon. But did I throw it away? I'm going to give you two choices. No.
Why would you?
It's like,
no, because
I can do a craft with it.
You could. And what would be really funny about that, Jane, is if you followed up with, and I don't do crafts.
I don't do crafts. I can now, though. This is the thing, though. This is, again, it's one of the positives. This might be a time to do the things that I either never had a reason to, I never had a good enough excuse to, I never had the time to, I never had hit the proper level of boredom or slightly mind askewness. Basically, can go down to the basement and use the old improvisation of sort of improv chopped, right? It's like, what can I do with green acrylic paint, like your little tiny little bottle of paint, a sweater circa 1989, and some gift wrap. Go.
What did we make? What'd you make?
I haven't done it yet. I'm just thinking about it. Got to go, look ahead to the weekend.
So if you guys in the comments, if you could make suggestions for Jane, what she could make with the green acrylic paint, the old sweater. What color is the sweater?
Well, I actually probably would do the old t-shirts. I have the old t-shirts, because that's it. You did in college. You got the college t-shirts in the early 90s. I have all of them still.
1992 beer bash, or
that's the kind of stuff that's living. I've got like a Simpsons at Ithaca College kind of thing rocking them, because that was the thing. That was the style at the time, and yeah.
Oh, okay. And so here we've got about the hair products. Mike said he washed his hair for the first time in 4 weeks. Quite wonderful. And what's nice about that, Michael, is that when you haven't washed your hair in a while, I call it a nature's conditioner, because the oil that you have, and then when you wash, it's like, whoa, it's like I had just conditioned my hair for 4 weeks.
Julie, I would like to give you some background information on one Sir Michael Sullivan. Mike Sullivan is an all-around fine gentleman in, you name the category, he's a fine gentleman in it. Mike joined an old improv troupe of mine that I was in and co-founded from 2002-ish until 2017 that we were together. Mike joined us on the tail end of it. And Mike was a little bit older than the rest of us and did not care that he'd never done improv before, but he was a natural. Flash forward, our beloved Mike just a few days ago left the hospital in his home in Colorado. Mike is recovering from the virus. And so,
oh, and I apologize if anything, any missteps. I apologize, Mike, if I.
Mike doesn't get offended about really much. Mike's got the greatest sense of humor. And I think that's what was keeping him through. He was keeping his friends and family informed and joking. Oh. He's such a fantastic guy. So as long as I have the chance to say, love you, Sully. And yeah, he's an example of humor bringing you through. So there you go.
Oh, that's really great. That's great to know. And I'm glad you're okay. Oh, and Mike says, why would you apologize? Well, Mike, because I had said, yeah, good point.
He's
because
amazing.
I had slipped up and yeah. And then Sharon, Mike, you got a congratulations, Mike, from our friend Sharon. And I love what you'd said, Jane, about how Mike was a demonstration of using humor to pull him through. And I think that's great. I mean, some people might say, oh, laughter, the best medicine is trite. It's a saying. But I believe that when we have a positive attitude, it really can help. I mean, you've heard studies too that what's going on in the brain can dictate what's happening in the body. I mean, but it's not to say fire your doctors. I'm not saying that at all, but having a positive outlook can help, and laughing for no reason. Right, Jane?
Absolutely. Which we'll get to. Foreshadowing. But the thing about recognizing humor too is that what is humor? It's really just, well, there's lots of different ways to describe it, but one way is it's recognizing a disconnect. So there's two things that are unexpectedly coming together, right? Which is also a way to interpret creativity, which is also a way to interpret improvisation, which is really all of those three things look at life in terms of here's my reality, here's my truth, this is what I have, this is what might I make out of it? And it's really just looking through that lens of possibility and looking through a positive forward movement. It's not saying everything's great. It's not an either or. It's that everything can be and this can be funny. It's I have no idea what I'm going to do for income, and my family and I can sit around and do, caterpillar themed dinner. I don't know what that is. Maybe don't do that. But it's having that lens of looking for the unexpected and the how might we. It's really tilting that perspective that allows you to sort of think forward and move forward while things stink, right? And it's not an either. It's not pretending things are rosy. It's the and both can live together.
In other words, sorry, not in other words, in adding on to what you're saying, because I'm a visual person, visual learner, and also I think when we also talked, we had used analogies. I also like the idea that life isn't linear, emotions aren't linear, what we're going through right now isn't linear. It's almost like, instead of linear, it's almost like a spiral, and all these different spirals are layered on top of each other, because you can feel grateful and scared at the same time.
Yep.
It's the yes and it's the yes or and. Holy shit, all this stuff is, pardon me, but it can be overwhelming. Yeah,
exactly. And then the classes that I teach about resilience, it's not about ignoring the awful. It's keeping your tank full so you're better prepared for when the really awful hits. Because if everything becomes awful, the line at the drive-through coffee place is too long, and my shirt isn't as blue as I'd like it to be, and these these everyday things, that they keep chipping away at your tank, then when you really need to call on that reserve, it's not there. So if you can deliver it more measured and figure out what's the big stuff. Do you remember that was the book back in the 90s, the Don't Sweat the Small Stuff kind of thing?
Yeah.
That the essence of that is true, is that what we don't, there's right now we're living in a time where we don't have a heck of a lot of choice or control over a lot of stuff, right?
Good point.
Probably. There's a lot of stuff we don't. So the things that we can choose, what's the biggest, oldest adage? That you can choose your attitude. Now, I'm saying that as somebody who, admittedly, I don't have it as worth, I lost contracts and jobs and all sorts of that through this. And so, yes, I have pain points, but my husband still has his income. And, so we have a home and everybody's healthy. And so there's privilege that I understand I'm saying this with. That said, that if there's a moment that we can choose our attitude, there's times where you think everything's great, but you just want to go have a good cry. Everything's awful, so you just want to go have a good laugh.
And
right?
Yes, well said. And it's also not to say that what you're experiencing isn't real. What you're experiencing, because you have a roof over your head, because you have that other income, because you have shelter, it doesn't mean that you're not struggling. So it's okay. And I appreciate that compassion of, I understand other people are experiencing something maybe even harder. Maybe there are some people who are struggling to put the next meal on their table. And what can we control in our own lives? We can send positivity. We can reach out to those people we know are having a tough time. And it gets back to what you're saying about keeping your tank full of, I think you said positivity, but I think it also ties into keeping our tank full of self-care.
Absolutely. And that's going to be something different to everybody else. And it's the metaphor of the oxygen mask on the airplane, right?
Yes.
Get yourself first so you can help others. And so if you keep your tank full, you're better able to keep yourself moving, which matters. And how might you be able to help friends, neighbors, strangers also with a full tank, right? And so there's so many different ways that we can continue to move forward, and you can continue to have these ideas. And so now that I have I'm keeping my tank as full as I can, I might be able to use this extra fuel to help serve organizations and people who just need that boost of, I'm stuck. Well, part of what I do for a living is help people get unstuck. And so, but in a forward, positive, sort of levity filled way. And so how might I use that full tank to, I don't need it right now, but I can help you with it. And then hopefully in turn, somebody can help me. And I have been helped by a number of people through this. And so it's this sort of circle of good or something. Maybe it's a rhombus. Not enough things are a rhombus. I don't,
You're making me, hashtag geometry.
No, I just like the word. But,
rhombus. Get out of my face. And I do love what you're saying about keeping our tank full. And it's also, we can take this time to make sure that we do have our tank full. My sister and her husband lived on the island of Bermuda for about 14 years. They saved rainwater. That was the way that people got rainwater for their showers, and not drinking water, and for their faucets and dishwashers. So think about that. They had to, when it rained, they didn't necessarily at that moment need that water for the shower, but it was in this whole tank underneath the house. So keep your tank full. Otherwise, don't run into an emotional drought.
Right. So many metaphors. And you don't even have to keep it full. That's because that's a lot of pressure, right? It's more how about this? Keep filling your tank to whatever that level that may be, because there's maybe some people that are pretty darn close to a drought and they have a lot of things going on. I have some friends that I'm hearing about that are going through some stuff, seriously. And so to expect them to be fully thriving is foolish and not necessary either. And so, but how might they continue to keep filling that tank? Whether it's just a half an hour walk, whether it's watching a favorite funny movie or television show or goat videos, whatever, strikes you as something to provide some laughter, trying a new recipe, something like that is creative and the unexpected and the how might. And if you mess up a batch of cookies, you messed up a batch of cookies. I know flour's hard to come by, so maybe that's not what you use, but try to have some kind of forward movement that's light and sort of takes the moment away for you a little bit.
I have found that I've become more creative and I'm listening more to myself, because I'm not out there getting bombarded by traffic lights and even though I am spending a little bit more time on social media, yet I can control that. I feel like I have been filling up my creative tank. Now that we're talking about this, I'm able to verbalize this, because when I'm out there, so many distractions. And I feel like this is a time for us to become more creative. I made homemade meat pies, and I made the dough. When was the last time I was able to do that? Innovation is creativity is the mother of necessity is the mother of invention.
Right. Exactly. And it's not asking people, if you have a number of children who, and especially if any of them are special needs children, or if you're a single parent, or if you've both lost your jobs, whatever it may be, if you are really struggling, to ask you to be fully creative and thriving is not where you need to be right now. Obviously, you need to be where you are, right? But what might you infuse into this that it's pretty bad, and we can take this one family dinner, or we can all sleep, in the living room tonight and go pretend like we're camping, or something like that. But to find the imagination, and that playing in our imagination really allows that sense of flow and possibility. And that's practice. The great Kat Coppett, which I could talk about a whole half-hour show just about my adoration for her. But the whole notion of improv is that.
Did you say Kat Coppett? Because you blocked. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Kat Coppett. Sorry. Yes, that she talks about, improv is the gym, and in doing things like playing with your imagination, your creativity, and improv, it's practicing those muscles and practicing those patterns that we're putting new patterns into our brain. And so even though you're making meat pies, or you're having a slumber party, or a camping night in the living room, by playing with some of that sort of how might be and what if and let's pretend, you're getting your brain ready for all right, how might I go on this new job search in these new days? Or how might I balance caring for my family and for myself? And so it's really just getting your brain functioning in a new way, and going against the gator brain of the primitive part of our brain, which when we see something new and a new challenge, a new threat, something new before us, the gator brain is what? Fight or flight or eat it. Right. And so if we can relax that gator brain and say, how might we, what if, what else can I do? And have that curiosity, which can be terrifying. But if we can practice that through some fun activities, it's good. And that's one of the reasons why I love improv, which is the root of all of this madness that lives within me.
And that's my soul. Improv is my soul. And adding on to what you're saying, and I would say even before, so not to negate what you're saying, but even before we get into that, all those creative ideas, what I think first have to do is yes, and the situation.
Oh,
and to be clear to those people who aren't necessarily aware of philosophies of improv, you might have heard that for all of you watching now or later, that improv, the foundation is yes and. And what I like to make clear is yes and doesn't mean that I agree with everything that you're saying. It doesn't mean that I agree that everything is happening in the world is all a bed of roses. Yes and is another way of saying, I see what is happening. I'm acknowledging what's happening. And in order for us to move on or move forward, move on with creativity and with growth, we have to first acknowledge what we're learning from.
Yes.
Because, if we just say, oh, I'm just going to move on, well, you have to acknowledge what's happened, I believe.
Yes, that's it. And then, the and is the build. It's the now what, because if you still sit in acknowledging and sit in accepting, you sit in the yes, it's great that you've acknowledged and accepted and yesed it and said, okay, this is real. If it's a great thing, then yes. If it's a not so great thing, it's okay, but this is real. The and is the now what. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to build with it? What new direction are you going to take because of it? So the and is movement, and ideally forward movement by adding something to it. And so that's really the yes and philosophy is just, this is real, and now what? And it's the now what that it can be scary. I like that.
I'm not sure, Jane, if I've ever heard that term, that using the and as the now what. I think that's brilliant. Because you can sit in yes.
Yep.
Okay, yes, I'm stuck in my home. It's almost like you're freezing the screen. Your life is frozen. Yes. And what are you going to do? And it's not to say, and sometimes we have to sit in the grief So a yes might be a yes to the grief, a loss of a loved one, loss of a lifestyle, loss of income. Sit with the grief, acknowledge it, and then how do we move forward? And there are all these different tools. Like you were saying, be playful, be creative, call a friend, go out and take a walk. So there, and we have tools within ourselves to build our and tools.
Yes, absolutely. And it's not taking a playful spirit again in the sense that you are saying everything that is happening to yourself or to the world around you is okay. It's simply saying, remember when you were, maybe when you were young, it was like the floor is lava and that tree's a rocket ship. And it was, this is this, and let's pretend, and this is our new reality. And somebody would always ask, yeah, that tree's a rocket ship. And you would almost yes and it, right? Say, and I'm the alien. And so it became this group scenario of group truth and moving forward together. And what else could this be? That this is a, this is a pen, but what else could this be? This could be the rocket ship, or this could be a digging tool, or this could be, oh, I lost one of my chopsticks. It could be, what else might this be? And if I gave only half of it, what might this be, and what's part of it? And it's really looking at things in a new way with new intention.
What else can it be?
Curiosity and playfulness.
I love that. What else can it be? And that we can take during and beyond this quarantine. What else can this life be? What else can this normal be? Because a lot of people are saying, or I've seen people post, well, let's get back to normal. Well, normal is going to be different. So what else can our normal be? Our normal could be spending more time at home with family. What else can our life be? Having only 2 activities a week for the kids as opposed to 8.
And I love what so many people are doing. I mean, the things we're talking about right now are things that are happening with unspoken and just as a natural reaction in individuals and communities around the world. That there's everything from all the people who are manufacturing homemade masks at home for people who don't have sewing machines, for people who are the plastic, the face shields, and they're inventing and they're creating and they're serving the chalk walks and the people doing the karaoke in the neighborhoods and all of these things that people are doing, not because they're using creative theory or yes and tells me they're doing it because this spirit is sort of that's what happens when your brain functions from that lens of possibility and what if, and that sense of goodness and moving forward. And it's amazing to see what individuals and groups and families and teams and communities are doing all over the world to support people they know and people they don't know. And so that creative spirit lives. And I try to have some faith in a good section of the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not all of it.
I know, we just have to, and this is where for our own health, we have to focus on the positive. And you can call me Pollyanna. On the outside, I might be Pollyanna, but the inside, I don't know the opposite of Pollyanna, Debbie Downer. So on the outside, I could be Pollyanna. Oh, everything is fine. And then the inside is, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. But you know what? Just keep moving forward. Yeah. What I also liked what you'd said about people helping others. And we have this need. There's the need again, out of necessity of community. My friend who has one friend of mine had posted a video of a couple of people dressed in their T-Rex costumes. She posted it to me and she said, Julie, you should do this. And my other friend, Erica, a local friend, she said, I'm going to do that. She baked cookies and her mini cheesecakes and she delivered them to my house in her costume.
I love T-Rex costumes and I love cookies and cheesecakes. Give them my address. And
you'll love Erica. She's great.
I'm sure I do. Erica, I love you.
She did some of her kickboxing workout on her trampoline in her backyard. And so back to helping, Sharon said back to how to use old T-shirts, make masks out of them.
It's repurposing. It's taking what's known. We know how to wear T-shirts, right? You're using something in a new way. Once again, this is this thread. It's This is what was, and this is what is now. And that's everything is creative. It just is.
And using the philosophy of improv of what can we do? What else can we do with that t-shirt? What else can we do with our minds? What else can we do with our creativity? I love how you said that. I'm going to put that on a Post-it note and have it right on my computer. Post-it notes are great. How about even a Post-it note that has kind of a, pardon me.
I love it. I love it.
But it's it's for family friendly. I'm not sure.
Wipe the floor. That's what it means, right?
What does it mean?
It means wipe the floor.
It does mean wipe the floor. It does. It really does.
Hygiene.
I've enjoyed this. I think, you know what we could do, since we talked a little bit about fake laughter, and it's always fun to talk about laughter and fun in a serious tone. So Jane is not only an improv aficionado.
Okay.
Right? An advocate of improv. She also is quick-witted. And as you could tell from our conversations, and I'm taking extensive notes, she's also trained in laughter yoga, just like I am. So we're both laughter yoga leaders. Ha ha Let's do little vowel sounds. Now, heep, 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 heep.
I gotta tell you, I love doing the laughter work so much. I can't stand it. I gotta tell you my favorite story. I know we're going on time, but it's one of my favorite stories in anything I've ever done using this work. I do some work with our local Alzheimer's Association, and I do laughter workshops with caregivers and their loved ones who are in the early diagnosis of Alzheimer's dementia. And there was a couple that came to the group, and I was told, he's not that verbal anymore. He's sort of losing some confidence, and there's some depression, and so he may not interact. That's okay. This guy was the most active participant in the whole thing. He and his wife was wiping tears from her eyes, and she came to me after the end of it, and she said, "This is the first time I've laughed with my husband since his diagnosis."
Oh,
come on!
I just got chills.
And they came back to the next time, and I had given them some suggestions about how to take the laughter home. And so one of the things that caregivers are often dealing with is a new way of relating, especially if they're living in the home, just the two of them, about a new way of relating, a lot of pressure on them. And so what they did was dinner time, usually he would be distracted and sort of in her way or things like that during preparation of dinner. So instead, he sat at the kitchen table while she prepped dinner, and they just laughed the whole time that she was making dinner. And so they were having this relationship, not, words weren't said. It wasn't conversation. But it was conversation with a small c, yeah, that they just laughed together while she was getting dinner ready. And she's just like, we can still connect in this way.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
I got chills. So that shows we can connect even if we're not talking or communicating in the standard way of, audibly. And that's fantastic.
Greatest thing that's ever happened at any group I've ever done.
And Kim, that's awesome. And you're making a positive impact on people. And Kim Carpenter asked, do tell, what is laughter yoga?
You want it? Take it.
I was trained by Sebastian Gendry of the American School of Laughter Yoga. Were you trained by?
I was trained through the Laughter Yoga School.
Oh. In India?
No, it was the one that comes out of Virginia.
Oh. Okay. We said we can talk about that offline. Oh, but either way, here's the thing. What I learned is yoga means breath, and we're increasing our breath capacity through laughter. And the cool thing is it's fake laughter, just like you guys saw Jane and me do for a little bit. it's laughing for no reason, and laughing for no reason can evolve into real laughter. And whether you're doing a fake laughter or a real laughter, the benefits physiologically are the same. And that
Yes.
the laughter oxygenates the blood. You're getting your endorphins up, helping to reduce that stress hormone cortisol. And it's so incredibly beneficial, so many reasons. And it allows you to get into a different mindset.
Oh,
Almost
hypnotic.
like hypnotic. And I was going to say, just like my guest, Stacey Prefontaine, who is a clinical hypnotherapist, she was on the live with me yesterday. And we talked a little bit about how laughter can reach that hypnotic state. And I know I've been in that state.
Absolutely. And that's, I would say that 99% of the time, the fake laughter evolves into real laughter because it's just a contagious sound. Watch one laughing baby video and you're done, right? You know, and so it's just the sound of laughter.
You just made me snort.
My work is done. It's good stuff. It feels good. It feels good.
I think I felt it in my abs a little.
So there. That's what we had to say about that.
That is what we have to say about that. Jane, thank you so much for coming and talking and laughing and sharing nuggets.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I want to thank you and thank you for doing this. I've learned so much and been so inspired by the shows that you've done. And so thank you for providing this service. And you were a hero of mine before I even met you. So when I met you at that conference, I was like, that's Julie Ostro, America's first laughing champion. So, and you are look at you. You are just as delightful as I imagined you would be. And I'm so thrilled to have you in this world and in my life and in my corner and in everybody's corner. So yay.
Okay. Now I don't know what to thank you. I don't know what to say about that. Just see, my eyes getting watery? I think so.
You're good people. You're good people, Julie.
Thank you. And my mom would say, takes one to know one. So good people see good people. Okay, high five. Thank you all for being here today. Oh, and Michael or Sully, he's called Sullivan.
Sullivan.
Sully says, doing that, I lost part of my ass. You're welcome. And then he said, thanks, I needed that. So you're welcome. Ass be gone.
Patent pending.
Okay, fine. We did it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to hang up. Say goodbye so hard.
Bye so hard.
Bye. Bye so hard.